Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the stock market is ridiculously reacting. So we finally got a Trump win. We're going to talk about all that tonight. And I kind of want to talk about some safe stocks. You've heard me talk about hedging. There's a lot I want to break into tonight. Usually, since I am a trader, I am talking about not necessarily day trading, swing trading. I'm using these videos to talk to you about what I'm probably going to buy tomorrow. But this one's going to be a little bit more mid range as far as that goes. I gotta be honest, a lot of this, I don't want to say I'm sitting out. I'm watching my money go up, and I'm watching it go up a lot. But if you can even ask my group, if you're inside my private group, it's not a sales pitch or anything. I've done hardly jack. I mean, I have a lot of Mara that's going up. Beto, I bought Boeing, I bought gold, I bought some TLT. I've had a few buys, and that's it. And then I'm just watching things go up. So I'm kind of just trailing. And honestly, I told them this earlier. I don't care if I sit this whole week out. I don't need to have 9,000 trades. And there's clearly been a reaction. This is kind of like an earnings play. So just full disclaimer right there. Just because it's reacting doesn't mean you need to. So not that I'm cautious because I think anything. I'm just hanging out. I'm certainly not buying, right here. I did buy some Nvidia today. Um, anyway, I'm cautious about what I'm buying, and if I do buy something, there is time. I am buying shares and I'm not doing options contracts to give myself an expiration I could possibly be wrong on. Uh, but is there a way to buy puts on all the hoaxes both sides were pushing nonstop? No. We will keep it non-political, but we were obviously talking about somebody. He won. Let's kick it off from the top. As far as the dollar goes, absolute just gap and go. We are above this. This triggered my alert, by the way. So I was bullish this. It hit that zone and then sold off. Like, come on. What did it do first? It actually tagged my alert, which I had right here for me to go. I was like, let it break this low right here, right where my mouse is at. I was like, all right, there's our last low. We break that. I'm going in short. Let's do this. I've been short this thing for a while. It tagged out on the move up. Look what it does. It literally tags. What do? I go short because that's just what I do. I set alerts. When that alert goes off, right, my watch vibrates, pull my phone out of the pocket, and I just take the trade, and then I go on about my business. I'm not sitting there staring at screens all day. That sucks. I've gone live throughout the day, and I can see why it's something like the worst showing up ever. Like there's like 3 or 4 people live. It's boring. Uh, that's for scalpers, day traders, real high energy people. But anyway, I go short. Absolutely rips up. Probably could have sat the election out. Could have waited. But anyway, that's that. Bitcoin. Here comes the Bitcoin hype. Everything I have been telling you guys. If you guys are new here by chance, just know that right here, let's take the candles off. Right here, I told you guys, we have this trend line. We have this bright yellow zone. It's bright for a reason. I think we're about to break this. We're going to hit this zone. We're probably going to pull back. I'm going to buy some more. And then it did hit that zone. It pulled back. I bought a lot. So between here and here, I traded MicroStrategy. I bought Beto and Mara. I've done a lot of crypto trades in general. I don't actually trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin's something I just buy every week. I'm going to hold that forever. I think it's going to go much higher. I don't even care about 100,000. I'm going much higher than that. But the ETFs things I've bought, Beto is a Bitcoin futures ETF. So I'm in that, and I actually have quite a bit of Mara. And I think Mara, Riot, with there's Hut. As far as the miners go, they're Bitcoin hype stocks. People that think Bitcoin's going up, so they buy that instead. Uh, Again, if Bitcoin's kind of grinding its way up, they don't actually perform that well. Bitcoin's sending it, and people are talking about it on Facebook. It's going for it. I'll pull up Mara and show you guys. So again, not toot my own horn, just saying it's doing exactly what I said it was going to do. And you would have known that if you just had that little bell. All you had to do is watch the videos. These are 100% free. Uh, anyway, I don't see this stopping. We could pull back. If it hits 73, I would say that's probably your dip buy. We kind of did that on a smaller time frame. Kind of pulled back, hit that zone, little bull pennant right there, breaking up. Uh, Honestly, right now, I'm not afraid of the markets. I wouldn't be afraid to be bullish. I told you guys I'm just not buying at highs because I just got to buy some red candles. If I'm really going to go in, I just want the dip buy. So looking out for that. Watching small cap stocks and altcoins. I saw the Russell was up. Soon as right as I'm about to just take the Russell out of here, it goes for it. Here's the S&P. We sell off, and I even said, I was like, man, we're probably going to sell off into the elections. But I kind of thought, yeah, Monday. I was like, yeah, we'll probably sell off a little bit more. Hang on, there's a heart on TikTok said, join my team. You should join my team. I thought we'd get a little more of a dip. We kind of just went flat. And then, man, you could say there's a lot of uncertainty with the election. This election panned out just, I don't even say this a lot, but chef's kiss, perfect. We know who the winner is. Like, I don't care who the winner is right now. I'm not going down that route. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't a they cheated, this and that. We're going to wait a month to find out who. I mean, I really felt like they were going to drag this thing on. I was prepared to just be off social media in general, hearing just all the nonsense. It's like, this is going to be annoying and it's going to last some time. So the markets will also react in that manner as far as the unknown. It's just not so unknown anymore. Kind of like earnings. Hey, they could say something crazy. They could say something good. There's a lot of what if going into that, and we finally got rid of that. Historically, November, December are bullish months. I'm sure someone in the comments will go back in history and tell me how November, December are on elections year. But again, I want to buy the dip buy. And you're asking the chat when is the dip buy? Like one of these red candles is going to be the dip buy. I think we're up there. Even bulls have to think we are up there. But overall, bullish trend. All signs point to up. I've been talking about a crash. Still think that's coming now more than ever, to be honest. And I even said right here, this is not the crash I've been talking about. I know I've sounded bearish, and then the red candle started to show up. But that was not it. I even called that to buy the dip. Now, full disclosure, I said we're crashing next year no matter who wins. They're going to blame it on the president. Didn't matter who wins. So that's not it's this person's fault or not, but I bet we see a lot of that later. And right now, kind of all signs point to unemployment. Maybe inflation rears its head back up again. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of hard to predict these things. So far, I'm 3 for 3 as far as crashes go. Hopefully, I'm 4 for 4. As traders, we make a lot of money when the stock market crashes. We'll short on the way down. We'll buy the real dip. For now, between now and the end of this year, I am bullish. So any kind of, if we could get a couple red days, perfect, dip buy. On an intraday trend, maybe pull up the 9 EMA. Just watch the 15-minute trend. At least the remainder of this week, probably going into next week. If we don't get any serious movement, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm hanging out in the 15-minute time frame. Let me ask something serious. When is the Palantir dip buy? Palantir can just get delisted, okay? Just kidding. I only say that because I bought Palantir at 10, thought I was doing the right thing, and normally I trail things, and I sold it at just shy of 41, somewhere around there. Someone will tell me exact. Now, I do still have some, but a good chunk of it got sold. The growth count that everybody follows, that I post all my plays, sold it. And now we're at, 55? Ridiculous. So I do want to get back into that. But again, this right here, zero FOMO at all. FOMO is not why you get in a trade. FOMO is why you'll end up losing. The stock market always goes up and down. That's it. There's a lot of green days. There's a lot of red days. Who actually cares? You don't need to be in it every day. And I feel like we need to have that conversation more. Just hang back. Wait for the right time. If you literally wait for the right dip buy, you'll probably end up waiting a couple days, a week, depending on your time frame and what chart you're actually watching. It's actually not that far. It's easy to think it's never going to happen if you just laser focus on the 15-minute frame. You're going to see a whole bunch of candles, and psychologically, that's just going to eat at you. Right now, hang out. What if you take a week off? I promise you the stock market's still going to be here. If Peloton can still be here after all this time, the S&P is still going to be here in a week, okay? As far as the S&P goes, we are outside the expected move. I actually did sell some call spreads on the NASDAQ today. NASDAQ hit all-time highs. We opened up with a little bit of a gap down. Honestly, right now, if we hit this zone right here, we're probably just building a bull flag. Probably the dip buy. Another thing I told my chat is I was staring at charts all day today. I don't know how many times I almost pulled the trigger and went short, and I mean over and over again. I was like, "We're high. I'm gonna catch this knife," and I was eager to. I didn't. So what I told the chat today was I'm just gonna be the second seller. That's all. I'm gonna let the selling show up, and then I'll jump on that train. And I don't care how high the bull train takes us. If I'm going short, it's gonna be because the red candles are there. Or if we kind of just fade into a bull flag, then I gotta buy the dip. Lisa, I did sell some call spreads on QQQ because I even said I sold. We're just doing the futures first, but I thought we were again a bit up there. So we got outside here. I sold some 410, 412 call spreads, uh, and I don't know if that's something I would just be sounding the alarms on for everybody to do. It's a $2 spread. What I clicked $50 for it, something like that. Uh, So I'm risking $150 to make 50. When you're an option seller, that's kind of how most of your trades actually are. The numbers game are on your side. I'll win that trade a million times versus the few times you'll end up losing. Waited till we got outside the expected move, thinking the market makers rein it back in. It's why I watch these levels. I told you guys at the beginning of this week, we're going to be outside here or here, one of the two. And when we got outside that, I was either going to sell some put spreads or call spreads, and I was chomping at the bit just to go short to catch that knife. So that's why I say I don't know if everybody should be following me into that one. Again, it was. I don't know, being in my seat, if this is maybe a proper way or something I should be saying, but I'm just telling you guys what I do. Uh, Sometimes I don't know how to word it. You just got to scratch that itch. Me personally, if I didn't go short this, and I kept checking and I kept checking. I know when I do that, when you get hyper focused on something, in the past, I finally pulled the trigger and it wasn't a few spreads. It ended up being just straight puts or something like that. And I've taken some a lot bigger losses. So it was one of those like, let me just get some skin in the game. Let me just do something with the market. Just hey, I did it. You know. So if that ends up being a loser, sucks to suck. Won't be big, and it won't just be what puts would have cost me if this just continues. You're jumping in front of a freight train going short like this. If it wasn't 50, it was $38 then. You got it most 25? Nah, I'll check. Get those wins. uh 50 on Nvidia then. Anyway, so hoping that pulls back. As far as the Russell, finally sending it. Bright yellow zone because this was horizontal for the longest time. Right here. So we got above. I guess we have to zone this out. Wait till I see the DOW. I have not checked the DOW. We're getting there. Ooh, where are the sellers hanging out here? So well, I guess my lines quit working. Let's go over here. Okay, so I'm watching this wick right here. So I'm looking for where's that area of attention? Where did everybody sell? We were in a clear run right here. We kind of have this indecisive candle, so we ran into some sellers. If it's price discovery, if we were looking for a different group, that's where they were. We're just in an absolute run. We had a hiccup right here. Tried a little bit further. Ultimately came back down. Got a little bit further. Bounced around. I kind of want to and I'm trying to grab the just the meat of it, right? This is just where I want to pay attention. I look at these wicks as outliers. Like, yeah, we got outside there a couple times. We did reject. We came back down. We danced around. If I were to reference like a magnet, this is the strongest point. Still have some pull outside, but it starts to get weaker as it fans out. And that's where I care to take it because if volume's never an issue, like getting in and out, never a thing. And that's how I just structure my trades. So as far as the Russell, I have to keep an eye on that area right there. Let's see where we're at. And as a matter of fact, we actually jumped up. Try to make that big for everybody on mobile. Where are we at? Why is it not showing? I feel like TikTok can't see. There we go, the 2 lines. So we actually jumped up, hit that, sold back off. Oh man, if I had to do anything, I would say go short with the stop right above here. Hope it hits that yellow zone. It feels lonely in the trading chat. Oh no. Well, Cody quit scalping, and I'm not doing much. Plus, plus when you get outside the zones, that's cheating. Sorry, I try not to. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Tom effing Lee. There we go. There we go. He says it's going to be 300 by the end of the year. How did he know? Cody says, I'm not trading futures during this nonsense. I will say this to everybody. Something I told my chat. I know a lot of YouTubers say that because like, oh, come join. That's the secret sauce. It's just because I'm there every day. Throughout the chat, I stream every night. What I said was I'm going to be in the futures realm. I'm going to be on a smaller time frame. It'll likely end up being a scalp. But what I want to do is get in. I want to try to take a directional play, put my stop in the green, and hopefully it goes for a run and we get a nice trending day. And that's kind of how it's been. So even Cody is saying I'm not trading futures during this nonsense. You'd probably want to take your risk off the table a little bit faster because I do think even with this push up right now, like everything I think is on eggshells. Smaller time frame. We're pushing up a lot. That's cool. But I think some people forget the market does have a short memory, how fast things can turn around. And no way do I want to be just gung ho buying at the absolute peak. And then we remember how fast things can turn around. And then the real dip buy comes. And of course, somebody's buying up all of my contracts because I have to get out of positions. Do you think chips will do worse under Trump? I don't think so. Imagine if we both went long on the ES last night when we spoke about it. Would have been rich. Okay, so let's check out the DOW. I know I had that on here. How annoying. What is going on with this? That's not right. Okay, so absolutely going for it. This is crazy. You know what this reminds me of? Trump was president then too. 2021, when everyone just showed up, and it was just like a normal thing. How much did you make in the stock market today? Just 10%. Yeah, I thought about making 15, but I fell asleep. Again, like I literally just said, eggshells. Would not surprise me to see this. What if the Fibonacci people get happy? It just comes all the way back down to this. A 50% retracement, that's a great pullback and a great spot for a higher low. Okay, so I'm going to draw a blue zone right here. So we have a peak right here, and we have this little hiccup situation right here. In the midst of all of this, we have that little spot. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Not a sales pitch at all, but Don started over at 0 1 year ago. And after a year of 150 weekly deposits, the account sits at 14,200. Just a year of deposits alone, 7,800. Just saying. Here's the sales pitch. That's not my first year of doing that. Just saying. People come in and say, let's see your trades. Sign up. There's been 4 losses in the last 2 years. Just saying. Anyway. Hang on. I bought stocks in Bitcoin and only went up like $6. I should have bought trading options. No, you shouldn't have. I can tell you right now with how you worded that, and please do not take this the wrong way. You probably don't know enough about options. And options, trust me, that $6 is a whole lot more than what you probably would have done buying the wrong contract because it would just go to zero. Most contracts do expire worthless, 100% loss. Um, Stick around. I'll recognize your name if you hear more, and I can help you out. We can go over which ones are good, bad, why at least, and that would probably help you out. But I would be happy with your $6. I don't say I don't really care how much money you have, uh, or anything. It doesn't matter. DK, you will always be my number one option. Kyle, you will see me back on my other channel. I'll put it that way. Friday. You better be there. I need Kathy Wood's one fund. Oh, I read that Kathy Wood's one fund is minus 8% this year. In a year, the markets are up how much? Oh, that's wild. So let's talk about safe stocks because I've spent a lot of time and I've come on here and I told you guys I think a crash is happening next year, uh, and it might be around that February March time again. It's kind of where I'm ballparking right now. We're gonna play it by ear. The only reason I'm mentioning it now is just more of a keep it in the back of your mind. That's what I'm thinking, and it'll be time to hedge or make those plays then. But there's so typically I take money from my trading account, right? Pays all the bills, pays taxes, and then I move it into my investment account, and that typically gets assigned right away. But right now, it's just going into the investment account. I do sell. I'll sell some cash secured puts. I have no problem with that. But for the most part, it's not just gobbled. It does not have a place just yet. And that's kind of what I'm doing in the meantime.